Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk with Kima. It's Friday. It's 8:30. Let's get rolling. I am pumped to see everybody today. It is, it's hard to believe, really, for me, that we're already in the beginning of February. Guys, January has not only arrived, it is gone. It's not only gone, it's in the rearview mirror by a handful of days already, right? Today's February 3rd, right? Think about that. February 3rd. So today, well, let's stop and think about this for a second. So today is National Carrot Cake Day. Carrot cake, does that really do it for you? It doesn't do it for me, but it's National Carrot Cake Day. Think about that for a second. Who needs a day for carrot cake, right? But let's move on from there. So today is not my favorite day. Right? I love Fridays. I'm really excited about tonight. Right? A bunch of real brokers getting together to go sit by a bonfire and hang out and just talk shop and all that. So I'm really excited about tonight. But today is not only National Carrot Cake Day, it's National Wear Red Day. I don't wear red. I take that back. I do have one article that's red, one article of clothing. It's a hat. It's a Hurricanes hat. So I'll wear that. Not when they're playing the Bruins, by the way, but I will wear that. But otherwise, man, we don't wear red in our house, man. We just don't do it, for obvious reasons. And well, it's been a tough year for my Tar Heels. I'll just say it to you now. Go Heels, baby. But yeah, National Carrot Cake Day, National Wear Red Day. 2 days that just don't mean an awful lot to me. 325 days till Christmas. Are you the kind of shopper that shops year-round for Christmas? Like you're on vacation in June and you see something that somebody so-and-so might like. Do you buy that and then hold it like that? Or do you have to be 65 years or older to do those kinds of things, right? Like to me, that seems like people that plan, people that were born in the 40s and maybe the 50s, right? So like, I don't know. Seems to me like most of us wait until December 15th to get started. And then there's guys like my buddy Brian Pate, Christmas Eve, you always go shopping, right? My dad, right? I can remember, listen, one Christmas Eve, it was snowing like crazy in my little hometown, sort of removed from society. And we were driving down to a place called Springfield, Massachusetts, home to the Basketball Hall of Fame. And we're going to a mall down there. It's actually Holyoke, Massachusetts. We're going to the mall. We're driving down this road called Route 91. And you could barely keep the car on the road. It was snowing so hard that Christmas Eve. But because my dad always likes to wait, and because I'm always up for a cold beer, he and I went out and did a little Christmas shopping. And don't tell my buddy Chad Softic that he's a police officer. He don't want to hear that stuff. But are you one of those people that can buy your gifts during the year and wait and hold them? I am not. I am not. Today's a very special day. So we talked about how Wear Red Day and everything else. Let me give you a little juxtaposition of what the opposite of Wear Red Day is. Today is 2/3/23. Michael Jordan Day, baby. Number 23. So I raise my cup to a great Tar Heel, to Michael Jordan. My son Camden has watched 12 times from beginning to end all the episodes of The Last Dance, and if it's on, he stops and watches it. And by default, I stop and watch it. So to you, Michael Jordan, and to all you Tar Heel fans out there, I raise my cup to you. So I cannot get over like how much Michael Jordan impacts our day-to-day lives still, right? Like the impact of the Nike shoes and, the Air Jordans, the Jumpman, what have you, and how it's still cool and it's a cool brand today. It just cracks me up. But yeah, so I was talking to a buddy of mine recently about phone numbers and just, and we were talking about my old friend Chris Dexter back in my hometown back in the 80s. And we were sort of realizing, I can't tell you what the phone number is for half the people I know today. More than that, 99% of them. I know my number, barely, but I know my number. But like, I can tell you the last 4 digits because we used to have to only dial 4 digits. I can tell you the last 4 digits of all my friends growing up, even some I haven't talked to in decades, right? 2298, 6544, all these guys. Like that's their name almost, right? So do you remember the days when you would never had to dial all 9 numbers? I don't know how many numbers we have to dial now. But instead of dialing all the numbers, I guess it's a 10-digit number, right? That makes sense. But I remember just dialing 4 numbers. Then they added the 5th number, and then eventually area codes, et cetera, et cetera. But I knew all my buddies by their 4-digit numbers, right? So we're talking about that, and we're telling stories. And so I thought today might be appropriate to share a couple of stories with you, right? So my friend Chad Softic, He's the head basketball coach at Mahar High School, my alma mater. And Chad, congratulations on your 200th victory as the head coach of the Mahar Senators. Let me start with that, right? That's going to lead me to a story. But congratulations to you, man. Seriously, what a great accomplishment. The way you lead those kids in an environment where it's not always easy, right? You're not playing at a big school where talent's coming in all the time, right? It's not like that, right? So you and your father and your whole family have poured into our community for so many decades now, and it shows. And so I raise my cup to you, Chad Softic, for the great job you're doing, the 200th victory this week. Just really proud of you. But so I played on those same courts, on that same court that Chad coaches on now. And there's two stories that always come to mind, and they're embarrassing, but I'm going to share them with you right now. So we had a really, really difficult disciplinarian for a coach, Coach Jones. And on Saturdays, we'd get the whole court. And you know, Friday nights, we did what high school kids would sometimes do. We'd go out and have a good time. So we'd come in tired on Saturdays, and we weren't playing well. In fact, we weren't playing well at all. And we come into the gym, and I was like I wasn't even a sixth man. I was probably more like an eighth man, right? So I didn't get a lot of playing time. But we come into the gym, and we're throwing the ball over the gym, like not looking good at all. Lots of bad passes, just like during the games. And Coach Jones lost it, made us run for, I don't know, what seemed like forever. This is back when you could do this thing to kids, right? Two practices a day, all that kind of stuff. We're about to die, and he said, all right, let's run the drill one more time. I said, one more bad pass, we'll just spend the rest of practice running. So my friend Chris Dexter, we're running something called a three-man weave. I don't even know if they run that anymore. It's kind of old school. But I was running on the far right-hand side. My buddy Dexter made a pass way out ahead of me. And, again, not overly athletic. That ball got way out ahead of me. And I knew that if I didn't make some sort of an effort, we're going to be running the rest of practice. So I reached for the ball, half dove, took it, wrapped it behind my back, tried to pass it back across the gym to the other player, and ended up throwing it into the bleachers. You would have heard honestly, you've heard the expression when a pin drops. This had nothing to do with pin dropping. This is much worse. It was pure silence, and we got on the line, started running, and Eric King, the toughest kid in our school, Eric King is running next to me, and I'm going to cuss here for a second. I won't say the actual word, but we're running side by side, sprinting. We're running for a long time. As we're running, all he's whispering in my ears, we're running is, I'm going to kick your effing ass. I'm going to kick your, all over me. It was the word, and all I kept saying was, Dexter made a bad pass. Anyhow, so that's story one. The second story I'll share with you was a JV story. We were down at Mohawk. It was an hour away, and it was just before halftime. I was playing point guard, and I had the greatest coach, Coach Charlie Pelock, and I love Coach Pelock. He calls a timeout right before half, and he's designing this big, long play. As I'm walking off the court, I look up and see there's 33 seconds left, and 3 seconds left, rather. 3 seconds left. And so he's designing this big, long play. He's like, pass it into Peter. Peter, do this. Run these 2 picks, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to, speak up and say, Coach, we don't have that kind of time. And as I start speaking, he looked at me and told me to shut up, right? And, okay. So they pass the ball into me. I'm 3/4 court away from the basket still. And I just take it and chuck it like a baseball. So I got 3 seconds. I'm like, I can't run the play. I'm going to be a hero. So I chuck it. I miss the backboard. I throw it off the back wall, right? And I never hear the alarm sound, the buzzer sound to stop play for halftime. And I look up. What I thought was 3 seconds was actually 33 seconds. Again, that silence and that look from your basketball coach of pure and utter disappointment and shock, I saw more than I wanted to. So those are my 2 basketball stories I'll share with you this morning. For those of you that like to bring them up every time we eat together and have cold beers, there you go. I've shared them with everybody now. Anyhow, so again, when we talked about not wearing red and Michael Jordan and so on and so forth, in your house, is there a documentary? Is there something that you guys watch without me? Say, hey, what's up, Lump? Good to see you, buddy. Is there something you guys watch the way Camden watches The Last Dance, right? I'm curious. Let me know, because we've got to get him unhooked and unhinged from The Last Dance. So let's talk about the market. This is really interesting. I don't care where you are here in the Triangle. If you're thinking about moving to the Triangle, hear me clearly. I'm looking at you directly right now. If you are going to buy a house, and you're going to buy a house in the next 12 months, call my team today. Why? Well, things are changing, and they're changing quickly. Interest rates have stabilized for now. Might we see a little blip up? Might we see a little blip down? Yeah, I think we will. And I think by the end of the year, based on what I'm hearing, we'll see them continue to come down, right? That'll encourage more investor money back into the market, more buyers, more competition, make it harder to buy a house. Prices will continue to go up. Supply and demand still is the #1 driver, though, for the real estate market, right? So interest rates have stabilized. But listen to this. At the beginning of the month, we had 5,900 homes on the market. Today, we have 5,650 homes on the market. We're down about 4.5%, right? Yeah, that's down. I mean, we have less homes to choose from at a time where more people are listing than they have been, right? So believe it or not, we're getting a significant increase in our listing inventory. But the reason you're not seeing that reflected in that number, the reason the listing inventory number is down, what's available for sale, is because people are buying houses again. Listen to this. On the first day of the year, we had 4,362 homes under contract pending. Today, we have almost 1,000 more. We have 5,260 homes pending. What does that mean? That means that we've increased our activity by 21%. Our inventory is down to 5,600. In a bubble, in a vacuum, that may not mean anything to you. So let me give you some perspective. On this day in 2020, prior to COVID, everybody thought the market was a white hot seller's market, right? I mean, we say this every week, and I say it every week because it's so important, because I don't know who's watching and who isn't watching. Here is the truth. With inventory being at 5646 today, in that white hot market in 2020, we had 6,500 homes on the market, significantly more inventory on the market then. And our volatility, or excuse me, our activity rather, right now is increasing at such a rate by 21% in 1 month. Guys, we haven't even hit the spring market yet. What does that mean, right? Let's break that down. What does that mean to you as a consumer? If you're going to buy a home in the next 12 months, they're going to be more expensive. You're going to have more competition. You're going to have interest rates probably stabilize right around where they are now. But if you buy now at today's prices with today's competition, you have the opportunity to refinance those interest rates. Then when you get to that point later on, you'll be buying at new prices, right? If you buy in 10 months or 12 months, the prices then will be a bit more prohibitive. So if you're thinking about selling your home, let's flip this around for a bit. If you're thinking about selling your home, some things to think about. It might take a little bit longer right now than it did, 6, 8, 10 months ago, right? Although much quicker than it did just 3 months ago. Why? Well, interest rates jumped, as you know, they jumped significantly, right? So with interest rates jumping the way they did, and with the market shifting the way it is right now, purchasing power has changed. So what is purchasing power? It's what a buyer can afford. So a buyer can afford, based on interest rates and their income, only a certain dollar amount. So if that buyer waits, right, and the prices go up, they now can no longer buy potentially in the next level of pricing, meaning they're looking at not a less quality home, but lesser home, maybe in terms of square footage, maybe in terms of bells and whistles, maybe in terms of size of yard, those kinds of things, right? Historically, when we price homes as listing brokers, we always use historical data, right? Today's broker better be using more than historical data. If all they're looking at when they sit down with you is, hey, look, these are the last 3 homes that sold, these are the last 6 homes that sold, based on that, here's where I think we are. The market is a pendulum, right? So it's always doing this. And so you've got to not only look backwards, you've got to look at today, and you've got to look forward, right? So you've got to take all those things into account. My point of all this is, sellers, be patient, price accordingly, and price into the market, right? There's a difference between being on the market, right? You can be on the market, or you can be in the market, right? And there's a difference there, right? Buyers, if you're going to buy, if it's even a remote thought, and you want to just talk this through theory-wise, call my team, call anybody on the team. We will walk you through the thought process. And it may not hold true for 100% of the scenarios, but if you're thinking about it at all, it's a really good time to sell, and it's a really good time to buy. It's a really unique time in our market. So that's what I've got for you this week. Listen, if you are around this week and you want to grab some coffee, just hang out a little bit, let me know. I've got a free weekend to do those kinds of things. I'll be working a little bit, but we can always meet here. And the other thing I want to share with you is, hey, we're hiring. If you're a broker looking to get into to maybe shift what you're doing, do things differently, forget the real part of it. Just think about the Kima Real Estate Group part of it. Our boards are full. Like we are busy, and we would love to have you be a part of what we do. Give me a call. Hit me up. Hit anybody on the team up. We'd love to talk to you. We'll have 11 degrees in Orange, Massachusetts, brother. I've got a hoodie on here because I'm freezing at 50, brother. Man, good luck to you guys. I'll see you guys in a week.